Hello everyone. So good morning. Well, it's not morning. I shouldn't say that. Hello everyone. I am not feeling this angle today, but I'm running late for an appointment, so this is just gonna have to do. So what has happened so far, I have written 2 pages for today, and now I am about to leave. I need to leave in the next 5 minutes. I have an appointment, and I'll tell you a little bit about it in a second. After the appointment, I am planning on starting character development for another secondary character. So I'm not gonna go too much into him and like talk for a long time because again, I have to leave. But this character I was thinking was going to be a type 5, but then as I was writing the actual story, I was thinking my protagonist, who currently is a type 9, she might be a type 5, and this type 5 character might be a type 9. I'm saying that because type 9s are generally very good friends. They're pretty loyal. They love when people, if someone's nice to them, they're gonna be nice back. And so there is kind of that, if they have a good friend, they want to keep that good friend. So I do feel like the secondary character, because he is a best friend character, like there's more to him than that, but because he is so much a good friend to the protagonist, I kind of thought a type 9 would be more appropriate, but I don't know. It's not that type 5s are bad friends. They're definitely not. My partner is a type 5, and he's just a very independent person. Therefore, he's not the kind to call his friends every day. I mean, we're also adults, so like that, of course, doesn't happen. But for him, he's not the best friend who is going to be like, hey, let's go do all these things on the weekend. Like he's much more chill. He takes his time. And so he's just a different kind of friend to have. That sounds bad. It's not meant to be bad. Okay, side note, the appointment today is to get lip filler. I really want lip filler. I do know my lips are going to be quite swollen and bruised after the appointment. So I don't know how much talking I'm gonna do today, which is fine. If that happens, that is totally fine. I'll put slides up or something. I'm gonna look a little different in the next few videos. All right, so it is another day and another weird angle in my bedroom. I don't love it, but it is what it is. So I got lip fillers. It was on a Monday. Today is a Friday. And basically, I did not realize that after the fillers, I would still be very numb. And so it was actually really hard for me to talk for about an hour or two. Also, my lips just looked insane. I think even if you didn't know what my lips looked like before fillers, they still would have looked just like super puffy. They were sore. It was hard for me to like put my lips together, like just like be normal, because they were so sore, especially after the numbness wore off. So I just decided I am not going to try to write anything else today. So yeah, so now it's been what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days later. I am getting back to writing. And so I have written 2 more pages this morning. So that was good. Still pretty early in the book. But today I am going to finally do character development for this other secondary character. And what did I want to say? I think this is my last character that I'm going to try to develop. There might be some other minor characters in the story, but not quite yet. There's another character who's going to come back when I do the prequel, and he's going to be in the sequel to this book. I know, thinking grand. This character today, he is supposed to be 17. It is a boy, and I'm thinking so far, I know in the previous video when I filmed this on Monday, I was thinking some other things, and so today I'm gonna rate him as a type 5, the original plan. And so type 5s, they generally are very observant, and they feel like they need to kind of hoard resources for like a rainy day kind of. And it's not necessarily things. In fact, a lot of type 5s are incredibly cerebral. And so usually they're hoarding things like knowledge. Oftentimes these people are seen as like know-it-alls, because if they find something that they're interested in, they might know a lot about it. Even if they're not an expert, they can tell you a lot of facts about things. So for example, I know I've talked about my partner being a type 5, but I feel like I talk about him, I talk about him a lot. I know another guy who is a type 5, and actually one of my coworkers is a woman and a type 5. And I've seen that for both of them, they have interests, and they don't just like practice those things. Like I write, but I can't necessarily speak about a lot of the details in writing. I think most of my training comes in screenwriting, and so yes, I can talk about some storytelling, but mostly it's like the more technical aspects that I know more about. However, these type 5s, they can give you a lot of details. A lot of type 5s will also tell you that they hate saying, "I don't know." Now, I know a lot of people, like we all like to know things, right? I think we all feel a little embarrassed if we ever can't do something, or someone asks us a question and we say, "Oh, I don't know the answer to that." Like, it always feels a little embarrassing. But type 5s, they don't want that. They don't ever want that to happen. So like they will learn a lot about a subject just so they don't have to say those 3 words. Also, a lot of type 5s will say that they don't have super close relationships with their parents, or at least they didn't have those relationships while growing up. So I'm thinking about like the type 5s I know, and I know one of them wasn't super close with the parents growing up, didn't really view them as authority figures. Not that that's a bad thing. I know authority kind of sounds like negative and like mean, but it's not. It's just like viewing someone as a leader and like respecting them. And I know for 2 of these type 5s that I'm thinking of, they did not view their parents that way. They viewed them as people who took care of them, and I think practically, because type 5s are very practical and pragmatic, they knew that their parents were doing their best kind of thing. Like, they weren't rebellious at all. Like, most type 5s aren't very rebellious. But they generally view themselves as their own authority, and they have an immense amount of self-control. Now, the other type 5 I'm thinking of, I don't really know their relationship to their parents growing up, so I can't really speak on that one. So I'm gonna get started on this type 5 character, and then I will talk a little bit more about him later.